Welcome to another tutorial. Today we are going to learn more about shading and lighting part rather than FX part. So in this I am going to use Vray. So it will be a basic introduction to Vray rendering software. It will cover some basic technique which I used in my scenes to create these renders, and these are like some basic techniques and you can use this in your scenes also. If you know some basic rendering software like Arnold, Redshift, Octane, Mental Ray, any rendering software, you know these some terms. They are like almost common, and if you have some knowledge of these lighting and shading techniques, you can create your best results. So for this I am using this scene which I have created, this lighthouse and ocean, some and then foam and some ground. This is like basic scenes. So if you want to know how I created these waves, you can always check in my Houdini playlist in my channel, in my Houdini tutorials channel. So for this I am using Vray. So I will be giving some brief introduction about Vray and how I rendered this software. So for Vray you can go to this render Vray. First you need to create out node for Vray so that it can render from this. And if you don't have Vray, you need to install this Vray rendering plugin. And for this you need to like search in net for Vray specific for 18.0.460, because I think this is available for Vray for this version. If you have some different versions, search for that and you will find it. It's pretty simple to install and work around. So after creating that out node, you will come to this Vray and you have this render setting. In render setting you have some basic render settings for specific for Vray. So if I go to like render, it has all these basic settings like sampling, noise, and global emission, which is secondary lighting, color mapping, camera, all that. For this I am not going to change all these. I am going to take this default rather than I am going to change this render device. So if you are using Vray 5, then you have these options to choose from. If your CPU is powerful, choose your CPU. If your graphic card is powerful, choose your graphic card. I am having RTX, so I am going to use my RTX card, which is selected. If you have more than one, you can always select more than one. It will definitely render faster. After that, we don't need to change anything here for right now. Then we need to create one camera, which is from here, and it means to create a simple 600 by 600. I'm going to use square pixels and log this. Something like this. If you want like this, you can choose any angle. You can change this also. Then next we need to create light. So for Vray light, if you are using Vray for render, you need to create Vray lights. So Vray light will be available here. In select, press here tab, you can select Vray, and here he has all these Vray lights. So for this, most of the time I use one dome light and one direct light. It will give me best results. Or sometime I use only dome light. So for this, let me just create one dome light. And in this dome light, go to this Vray dome light. It has all the settings. This you can choose your color here, or if you want to use any HDRI image, choose here. So I'm going to use HDRI image, so you just go for here, and I think I have used this HDRI image. And if you render this, like show VFP and just render this, you will see something like odd colors, because we need to create material for these objects. Without that we cannot see proper colors. So we have created light for V-Ray, we have created camera. Now we need to create material. So for material, we just first it need to compile for these drivers. It will take some time for starting. Only one time it will take to generate these kernels. After that it will be render fast. Okay, now it has, I think, created. I think still it's compiling geometry. These mesh are heavy meshes, so it will take a little bit time. If you have like small scene, it will calculate faster. For me, in my scene it has like very big files and lot of particle counts. I think this foam count is around 10 million, and this ocean mesh is around, I think, 5 to 6 million polygons. So that's why it's taking longer time. Okay, so after that I think it has created, because there is nothing light or no material, so it will not show properly. Let me just stop this and let me create material so that it can render out. For material we need to create material network and open this. In here you can find all the V-Ray materials. So if you go here, V-Ray materials, you can find all the materials. So let me just create a couple of materials. Like one is for ground and one is for this sand part. And one is for just I'm renaming this, and we will change the settings a little later. And then water, then we need foam also. Okay, these are just default materials, so let me simply apply these two materials. This is ground, then to apply foam, then for ocean just use water, and for this scene let me just add here, this is sand. Okay, now if we render, now you can see it. I think something is not coming properly. I think this file is getting some errors, so let me just change this HDRI file. I think I have used something like this. Sky is on fire. This. Now if I render this, you can see it will show the settings. Okay, now it has like rendered. So now you can, if you want to like change on running, you can just enable this. This is like IPR render, interactive rendering, and if I go to this sand, and I can like change its color to sand color, something like this. Okay, then if I want to go to water, this one is water. So for water we have like if you click on this setting, you have like presets. You can change from here, or either you can adjust from here. So I think it's given here water. See, now you can see it as water shader. See this one. Next we need foam. Foam is like almost white color, so you can either go for white color. Okay, now you have white color. See, if it's looking like black, I can adjust here. So for water this is like coming black. So if I select water, main setting is like this color, this is white color, this is actual reflection color, then this fog color. So for water I think I have used something like this color, and saturation I think I have used 0.1. This one fog color, and I think I have used this 0.1. So now if I look at this, see, now you can see it has something like this. So we need more or less color, so let me just go for a little lower. This value actually affects the overall color in this shader. It's like if glass is, or if water is more thick, it will have more darker colors. If it's light, it has lighter colors. So it works like that. So we are simulating like something, this aqua green type of color. Will come like this, or if it's not coming like exactly, you can always adjust this to cyan color. So this one, I think I have used this is 0.1, and this I think I used 0.2. Something like this. I have like something like this color. If you want more or less color saturated, you can always decrease this value. And for glossiness, I think I have used 0.8 something, because if you want transparent water, you can keep this one value. If you want blurry type, you can always decrease this number. Then next, sand, ground, it is always same. Now if we want like different colors for these, so we need to go inside of this scene section, and I'm just removing this from here, and if I go inside this, and first of all you need to select these objects separately. So I have selected these. So if I say, you see, like I have selected this column, I'm using group node, then this, then metal part. So I have always selected this part, and at the last I am using material node. In material node you can choose different kind of materials. So for material, this is first one, which is this sand part. So I'm using this sand. So select sand. Okay, now it has sand. So now if I render, only this part will be of that color. See, now we need rock. So rock, I have selected this is a rock, so I need to create a material for rock. So let me just create one more Vray material. Okay, and just create rock, and like we want like texture or image something. So for this we can use image and go for Vray image. It will call for image file or image texture. So go here, and let's just go for rock. I think I use this one, and you need to connect this color to diffuse, because it's diffuse color, and just decrease this blur value. And if I come to this here, you can see this is light rock. Now if I render, all this material will get rock material. See, then next we need to apply for this next section, this one. So I'm using column, and again we need another material. So let me go for another Vray material, and we need again image, and I'm using again some, I think this one, dirty concrete texture. Again color to diffuse, blur 0, and this is column. So if I go here, column, select column. Okay, you can get this column texture. And if it's like coming too much like this, you can always go we can always adjust this value. See, it's like coming dark and like this. So if you want like to repeat this texture, go to UV, and here you have repeat U and V. You can always repeat this texture, it will repeat this. See, Now you want to like bright this texture, so we can use color correct, Vray color correction, this one. Apply this in between. You have this color correction. You can enable this. Okay, now you can like adjust this value. See, want like bright and something like this. We have this white kind of color. And if you want like reflection on this object, we can go to this reflection and you can increase this color, so it will have some reflection. See, now we have some reflection. You can always decrease this glossiness, it will blur out these reflections. Something like this. Same case, if you want like rock to be these much more brighter, you can always go with that. Okay, next we have, this is group 2. I think this is for I think this metal part. Group 4 is for window, so we go for window. And this is group 3 is for these objects. This is brick, yeah, wood. Okay. Group 2 is metal. In group 4 is window. So I have already created these groups, that's why it's like same thing. Now I have one place. This is window. Okay. Now if I go to window section, so go here and let me just create one more video material. Yes, for window, and this is for this, or if I go up here, and this for this. Window, and let me just go for window. See, now it is nothing, so let me just go for here. We need like reflection, so go to this reflection and you can like increase this value and it will have some reflections. See, or if you want to like check if it's working properly or not, you can always change its color like this. See, and it's working. So it's working, but its reflection is like not too much. You can always increase this, and for this I can just break this, use Fresnel. It will much more reflective. See, now it is much more reflective. So we can always increase or decrease depending upon whatever what kind of look we are looking for. See, next we need this brown wood part. So let me just create one more material, and let's go for brown color in this. Okay. See, now it has some brown this. Okay, so I think I have created all these basic material which are needed, and I think one more is left. This is metal part. So let me just create one more. And this is metal. For metal we can go here and choose this silver, blurry, polished. You can choose anyone. The metal, go choose metal. Now you can see it has some reflective. See, now it has some reflective. Okay, now we have like created basic materials for this. We need to do some more work on this water shader part. See, it is coming like this. Now we need some white caps or white particles or white objects here. For this we need to create one blend material which we can use to generate these. So in ocean, and this mesh contains, if I go here, can go and check this velocity attribute. I'm using velocity attribute to create these white parts. So if I like disable this foam, you can see there is no white caps. See, no white caps. So for this we need to create white caps in this shader. So if I go to here, and if I go to this water shader, this one, we need to use this water shader and this foam shader. We need to combine these two to make these caps. For this we need to use Vray blend material to blend between two materials. See, default it has nothing, so we need to create two inputs, and first input is this BRDF1 for ocean, and second input is for this. And next we need to call this velocity here. So if I go to right click, Vray user color, this one. So, and I am using CD, and this CD is used in wait of second. Now we need to apply this Vray blend to this ocean material, this one. Now if I render this, you can see it has now these white caps. It is coming too much. We need to like decrease this. So if I go to blend material, we have this overall weight. This you can always decrease this if you don't want like that much. See, you can increase or decrease depending upon how we want this look. This will come like this, and on above this we have foam. You can something like this. Okay, so I think this is too much. We need a little less. I'm using this color CD. CD is coming because I have transferred this velocity attribute to color attribute. That's why I am calling from there. You can directly call this velocity, but you need to then manipulate some values there. So I have already done here. That's why it's coming from that. So this is your like basic lighting setup. And if you want to like go for night look, we need to change a couple of things. First, we need to like adjust lighting, because in night we don't need this texture. Okay, we need to like decrease this intensity. I think I used 0.1 something, and I think I have used this dark cyan colors, something like this color for night. Okay, we need like very low light, something like this. And for light in lighthouse, like I have used this glass. So if I go to this window material, this, see, diffuse, we don't need diffuse for this. You can black this, and we don't need reflection because it's night time, but we need light emission. So you go to diffuse, and we have this self emission. Here we have this light emitting. So this is one, and this is one. Now if I render this, you can see this will all windows or glasses come with light like this. It's not coming too much, so you can always increase this value 5 times. So now if we see, now it has some lights. See, and for ocean I have used same technique. For that I have used this foam white. For that I am not using foam white, I am using bluish cyan color for self emission, like something like this color. And I think I have used like 2 or 3 value. So now if you look at this, you get nice bluish shader. I think this is too much. I think I have to lower this value. Yeah, I think something like this. Now you can see we have like this. And if you want to like glow on this on top, that Vray gives an option for that. Just go to this section last, this property, and in here you can use bloom or glare effect. It will like glow this out. You can always lower this threshold and size, just increase this size. See, now it has much more glow. See, now you can see we have something like, which I have almost published. and we can always change material settings. So these are some basic materials and some basic settings. You can always go for some other values. You can change up to whatever you color you want, whatever material you want, and can always go for an interesting looks. These materials are basic. If you know these terms, diffuse, reflection, refraction, you can always easily apply these colors and all these settings. So I think this will give you an idea how I render my scenes. So this is like I have rendered this on daytime and nighttime. So these are like some basic settings. In my final scene I have like used some other lights also to illuminate this and some changes the settings of materials, but overall procedure is same. So you can always achieve these kind of results by doing these settings. And this is some basic and intermediate knowledge on this V-Ray. And finally, if you want to render out or save this sequence, go to this V-Ray render setting, and from here you can use frame range, and in images, save image, type your location, and always remember to name your file name, then $f dot format, which is EXR. It will save your sequence. And in render, and I think if you are using like this setting, it will almost clear out all your noise values. But if it doesn't clear out, you can always lower this value, noise threshold. It will clean this out, but it will take much longer time. So choose very carefully this value because it will affect your render time. And I think nothing settings no have to be changed. If you want like motion blur, just come to camera and enable this motion blur. You get motion blur in the scene. I think I am not using it because in my scene I don't need that, but overall you get these results. Okay, so I hope you have understand some basic V-Ray knowledge on how to render scenes and some basic material lighting setting. It has more light values. You can always choose different light settings, light type and materials. Just play with it, you get your results. And goodbye, and we'll meet in next tutorial.